Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. I'm a medium as well as a certified life coach. And as you know, a medium connects in with our loved ones on the other side. And a life coach helps people create the life they want to have. I particularly specialize in helping people get through problems, blocks, and obstacles so that they can move forward in their lives. Now, today is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. And my coaching tip today is all about self-love. For some of us, Valentine's Day can be a little bit of a challenge. We might be in a relationship where it's not working out so well and it just doesn't feel right. Or we may not be in a relationship and we want to be in a relationship. So we might feel alone and thinking that, there's got to be more out there. And it seems as though everywhere we go, being all over the place these days, we get reminded that we're not loved by that special person. Just yesterday, I went to the grocery store, and as I pulled in, I saw this man standing outside of the door, and he had a bunch of flowers in his hand, and I thought, oh, isn't that sweet? Somebody's going to get a surprise. And then I walked inside, and I saw another man holding flowers, and I thought, wow, that's weird. And then I saw somebody looking at heart-shaped candy boxes, and finally, I remembered it was Valentine's coming up here, which is now today. Now, I know when my children were young and I was alone and divorced, I learned the value of creating my own experience on the more challenging days, the days like New Year's Eve or Valentine's Day. I would do something special and fun for myself if I was alone. If the kids were with me, we'd make a plan to go do something that would be cool and exciting for them as well. Valentine's Day is all about giving and receiving love. It doesn't necessarily have to be with someone else. When we're focused on the fact that we're alone, we're missing a great opportunity to create our own reality by loving ourselves. And what does this mean? Because I know sometimes when I talk to people, like especially coaching, and I'll say, well, are you loving yourself? They're like, what are you talking about? They think I'm crazy or something. But loving yourself means that you're paying attention to your own needs and wants. You make choices that honor yourself. You set boundaries. You take care of yourself. You do what you can to create a life you want to have. If we don't love ourselves fully and completely, it can be very difficult to love other people fully and completely. And you may have heard some kind of phrase like that in the past. What it means is if you're not loving yourself, that you're not open to loving somebody else as they are. If we love and accept ourselves as we are at this moment, honoring ourselves and who we are as a person, we're more capable of loving another person as they are. We are not looking for them to complete us or fix us. When we truly love ourselves, we're taking responsibility for our happiness and who we are. We truly accept all parts of ourselves, the good parts, as well as those other parts that we kind of hide a little bit from other people. We hide those from ourselves a little bit too. These are the parts that we wish we didn't have. Now, sometimes those little parts show up in that negative, self-critical inner voice. When you're alone for Valentine's Day, what you'll hear in that little voice in your head will be things like, you'll never find anyone, you're not good enough, you're going to be alone for the rest of your life. That's that negative, critical inner voice we have. This sets off a chain of negative thoughts, negative thinking. And the more you get stuck in those difficult emotions, the harder it can be to get out. But it is possible to change your perspectives. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to shift that voice. We want to create more love for ourselves. We want to recognize how wonderful we already are. When you consciously connect to your true self, you're reclaiming your power to change that self-critical inner voice. One of the best ways to reconnect to your greatness, to find out who you truly are, that awesomeness inside, is to list your positive qualities and characteristics. Some people find this very hard to do because they feel that when they look at themselves positively, that they might be bragging, and maybe they were taught that bragging is wrong and you shouldn't brag. Other people struggle with it because their inner voice has had free reign for so long, telling them that they're stupid or they're not good enough in different ways, that now people have come to believe it. And for them to list positive qualities about themselves, it's hard to do because they don't even know if they have any. They don't know because of that self-critical voice they had. But each of us have wonderful characteristics, attributes, abilities, qualities. And when you look for these positive qualities, you're redirecting your mind into empowerment. You're developing a more positive self-talk. You're no longer letting those negative, unaware beliefs affect you. You're taking control. Looking for the positives can be uncomfortable, but try it anyway. This is a great way to start shifting your beliefs. I have my coaching clients write on a piece of paper or in their computer 50 things they love about themselves. Nothing about other people, only themselves. Things like, what kind of person are you? Do you love your ability to be persistent and disciplined? Are you passionate about a certain cause? Do you love that you're kind? Do you love that you're empathetic? We all have our own unique qualities that are positive. So whatever feels right to you. And I tell them to write it down because then they have it as a reference. These become tangible. There's proof that you really do have these qualities. As people start listing these things, they start to go deeper. They start to become more open to who they truly are, their positive characteristics and everything, to that core of their being, their spirit or their soul that they have within themselves. And this list, you can add to it forever. Just keep adding things. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging the good parts about yourself. And that negative self-critical inner voice tries to tell you you're not good enough. That voice is wrong because you're an amazing person. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that. Another way to show yourself some love is just to understand who you are and what you need. If you know a certain day is going to be a challenge, like Valentine's Day, what can you do to lift your spirits? Is it that you want to stay home and binge watch some TV show and eat popcorn? Maybe you want to socialize with some friends or family. What is it you want to do? Show yourself some love. Figure it out, what you need. The only person who can make you happy is you. That's it. And the more you love and understand yourself, the happier you're going to be, with or without a partner, because you'll be taking action to create the life you want to have. So what can you do? Figure out what you want to do. If you want something special on Valentine's Day, maybe you want some flowers, go buy some flowers for yourself. Don't wait for somebody else to bring something to you to make you happy. You choose to do it yourself. The more you love and take care of yourself, the easier it is to do for others. And if you're wishing for a partner, love yourself first. Figure out who you are, what you want. Be the kind of person that someone would find attractive, because a happy person, somebody who's taking care of themselves, is a person that others are going to find attractive. You're going to be putting out positive energy, and you will be sending that energy out all around, and the right person will come to you. So if you're sitting around moaning and whining because you're alone, get out of that. Don't do that anymore. Start looking at yourself and loving yourself and showing yourself some love by recognizing how great you already are. And that is my coaching tip of the day. You can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, as well as on Facebook. You can follow me there, Colleen Vanderzyden, medium and self-empowerment coach. If you just type in Colleen Vander, it should pop up and you'll be able to find me. So what we're going to do is take our first caller, who is Jamie from West Virginia in the United States. Jamie, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How can I help you?
I was wanting to connect with somebody who passed away.
Okay. And you're looking for a certain person? Because I've got a man here who's stepping in really fast. Did you have a man on the other side you're looking for?
Actually, there's two people, but yes.
Okay, then we'll see who this is. So as this guy's coming in, I have to say he's not feeling very old to me. Like I don't feel like he's in his 90s, 80s, 70s. Okay, he feels younger than that to me. He, for some reason, okay, this is interesting. He gives me a feeling of being rough around the edges. And what I mean by that is when I get a feeling of rough around the edges, it's somebody who's, they do whatever they want to do. They don't necessarily pay attention to what society wants them to be. They may or may not be polite, depending on who they're with. They kind of just say whatever they want to say. Not much of one for, how can I put it, putting on airs. Does that sound like somebody you know on the other side?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Now something really interesting came in before that I wanted to do that part first before I went back to this. I am getting, and if you know what this is, let me know. I don't know if I have dirt or what I have, but I feel like I have dirt on me or something dark on my hands, my face. Did he work manually in something where he would get dirty?
No, no.
Okay, I don't know what this means, so it's really interesting. But think on that just in case it pertains to something else, because I just feel like I have stuff on me that is dark and it looks dirty to me. The way he's coming through, I must say, boy, would he like drive people crazy sometimes with the teasing and the making comments just to get reactions?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I want to be like messing around with people. I want to just kind of bug them as much as I can, basically. And who is this person to you?
That's my dad.
Is your dad? I have to say,
Yes.
he's kind of fun, isn't he? Because he's I can't talk. He's his own person. He does what he wants to do. He says what he wants to say, but you know his heart is good, that he's a good person. He's a good man. He must have been a very hard worker, too. Was he a hard worker?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Because there's what's the word I want to use? I want to use integrity. There's an integrity about him. What you see is what you get. And I have to tell you, there's a lot of love coming through for you because you're quite close to him. And, oh man, you like to tease other people too. You do a little bit of what he don't you? I can't talk again. Do you do some of that?
Yes,
do you bug other people as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you guys are like two peas in a pod in a way because you both do the same things. And did you and he gang up on somebody else on occasion? Like take sides together so you could, bug somebody else?
Yes.
Good for you, because this is the feeling of you guys just being together. You understand each other so very well because you guys are so similar. I've got to go back to that dirt or whatever. There's something important that has to do with this. Did you recently do something where you got dirty, or is somebody around you get really dirty? Because I literally am seeing like dirt on my face. I've got to find this out.
My kids.
Your kids? Okay.
Yeah.
Every now and then something will come through and it's just so weird and random that it's like, what does this mean? So it may very well mean that. Sometimes something random will come through because they want to talk about somebody else. And as soon as you mentioned your kids, I just wanted to give them a big hug. And I feel like he would have been that kind of person that would have just loved the grandkids just about as much as he possibly could. And he would have been really funny with them and would have really said some interesting things just to get them going. Stories. He's telling me how much he loves you. Okay. He says he understands it's been difficult since he's left. And he wants you to recognize that he's still around you and that you can keep talking to him. And he gives me the impression you have been. Did somebody break a window, or is there a window that is cracked someplace?
Yes.
Okay. All of a sudden I was seeing that, so I wanted to just bring that through. Every now and then they'll show me something like that just to let you know they're really here, because why am I going to talk about a cracked window? So he's mentioning that as well. He's talking about you looking out the window. He's talking about you looking out the window. Do you look out the window sometimes and talk to him, or look at the stars or the sky or something and just kind of connect the people you've lost?
Yes.
Okay. So he says he's talking about that. He's saying that he's right next to you. Okay. He's right next to you. He gives me the impression there's been a time, if you have not experienced this yet, you will, where you're lying in bed and it feels like somebody is next to you, either sitting on the edge of the bed or standing next to the bed. Have you experienced this yet?
Yes.
Okay. And that is your people. These are your people here to see you. They understand. He says that you put up a real good persona of being a tough girl. You're going to be real tough and you're not going to let people get to you. You're not going to let them see your emotions. But he says you're not like that at all. You're actually really, really sensitive. and you feel stuff a lot deeper than you let on. Some people know you very well and understand this, but other people don't. They just think you're tough. Okay. But he's acknowledging your sweetness and your emotional capacity and there. He's congratulating you on something in particular, and it feels like something to have to do with one of your kids. I don't know if something special has happened, but there's a congratulations here because the way you take care of people around you, you hold them up to a high standard and you're doing a great job with it, but you also show them that love and how to be a real wonderful person. You're showing people how to do this. He says he loves you too much. This is interesting. He loves you too much. I have never ever said that, and I'm not going to take it back. He loves you too much because he says no matter where you go, he's always around you. Did he ever say anything like that? I just got to check.
No.
Okay, good. It's not a bad thing, let me tell you, because what it is the feeling of love all around you to such an extent that you are surrounded by it, okay? And I want to say to the moon and back, that kind of thing. I love you too much to the moon and back, and you can't get rid of him, he says. You just can't get rid of him. He's going to just be there. This does not mean he's not in heaven on the other side. He can be in both places at once. So he's sending you so much love, and he wants to give you hugs and kisses, and he wants you to pass them on to the people around you as well, to let them know that he said hi and how much he loves them. So Jamie, I want to thank you so much for connecting with me tonight. It was so nice talking to you and talking to your father. He's such a wonderful person, and he has such a high opinion of you as well. And so thank you so much. Lots of love to you. You're welcome. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. And that was Jamie from West Virginia. It's always so interesting when something comes in that's a little bit weird, like dirt on the face. You just never know. In a full-length private reading, I would hit on that and try to figure out where that is and stick with that as long as I can. But on the radio, we got to kind of just see what happens. We're going to move on to Alyssa from Greensboro, North Carolina. Alyssa, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. And how can I help you tonight, Alisa?
Well, I was just wondering if there's anything that I need to know about anything financial in my life or coming up, or I don't know, anything family, like my husband, my son, my daughter.
So anything around you right now. Does somebody, I've got a spirit here, so I'm going to go with the spirit first, and they'll usually help us bring in some information. Do you have somebody who would have passed on the other side who had some breathing issues? I'm getting a lot of congestion in my lungs, and as I'm trying to breathe, and I feel there's pressure going on in my chest, and I'm wondering if there was some smoking involved. Do you have somebody on the other side who was like that?
Well, my grandmother.
Okay.
Would she happen to have for a little while now?
That's okay. They can still come through. And it is interesting because as the spirits come in, they usually want to acknowledge things that are happening in your life now, let you know how much they love you, that kind of thing. And was she a little bit, I want to say strict. Was she a little strict? Let people know?
Yes.
Okay. Indeed, yeah, a little direct, shall we say. There's a lot of stubbornness here that comes through, and there's not a whole lot of patience for people who are not doing what they need to be doing. And interesting. She says you're kind of like that yourself. Do you not have patience?
You should see my face. You should see my face because you are describing me.
I love it. I love it. And it is so funny because sometimes the spirits that come in kind of match the person I'm talking to. But part of it though is, you kind of have an affinity with her, or she has an affinity with you. You guys go together because you're similar. You don't put up with any crap. That's just the way it is. And when people don't do what they're supposed to, you do let them know, and you let them know with no uncertain terms. And she likes this. She says this is the way it's supposed to be. She says people need to be more disciplined and more dedicated, and they need to follow through, and they should not be, oh my goodness, here she goes. They should not be whining and complaining. She does not like whining and complaining, and you must not either. Oh my gosh.
I do not.
She is just going right now. It is really funny. She is something else. And I don't feel her being a big bodied person, like gigantic or anything like this,
No.
but she's got
No.
big energy about her. Yes, you understand. She's got this energy that is, man, I have to say she would have been a great school teacher if she wasn't, because she would let them all know where they need to be and what they need to be doing. And they would have all been like little soldiers. And she's telling me that, you have done such a great job trying to keep things under control. You've done such a good job trying to make sure everything is going to be okay. You're not a person to sit around wasting time. You're not a person to have a pity party. You're not about to say, oh, my life is horrible, this happened and that happened. And you're a person that tries to solve things as best you can. I understand there have been some financial challenges with you. And there have been times where you thought, geez, I don't know. But it's always worked out. You've always had enough. Right now, things seem fairly stable to me. Are your finances stable?
They are. As a matter of fact, right now, like I almost can't believe it. Yeah.
Okay, so we got to keep you in that mindset of believing this, that it can stay stable and even get better. Okay, it actually, when I'm touching in with it, it feels good to me. It doesn't feel like, it feels like you've got some money in the bank. It's not a whole lot, but it's some money in the bank. It feels like things are working. I'm not picking up on any impressions of anything breaking where you're going to have to put out a lot of money. I'm not picking up anything like that. Okay, so things feel stable. You also don't waste your money. You're pretty good about spending it on the things you need to spend it on. And you do hesitate a bit on spending it on luxury things, like going out to dinner. Do you actually hesitate on spending money on that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. It's just, you value more of a security. You want to have security. You want to make sure you have enough. And you've had enough life experiences to understand that things can change really quickly. And everything is good right now. Feels okay to me. I'm not feeling anything strange. Okay. Do you have somebody in your life now who wants a motorcycle, a motorbike, or has one?
Oh my gosh. Yes. All of the above. Had one and wants another one.
Okay. Who is that person?
Well, my husband, he had a scooter because neither of us have a driver's license. And he had a scooter, a motor scooter. And then we ended up through some financial trouble, had to pawn it to pay a bill. So we ended up not getting it back. So he now is starting to, over the last several months, saying he wants another one because it's good transportation for him back and forth to work.
Yes,
because that's
it is.
The other one for him. He's been starting to talk about wanting another one, but he's laid it down so many times that I was like, you know what? And it was after he had a heart attack. I don't really want him to have another one, but it would be necessary. It would be good. It would definitely help, but I don't really want him to have one.
Yeah, it's interesting that got that impression while I was talking about finances. So there is that connection there, of course. And I have to say, as I'm feeling into that, I can feel the money slowly building up. Okay, but is he also quite good about fixing one? If he were to get one that was okay, but it needs a little tuning up and things like that, can he do that himself?
He can.
Okay, good. Because I'm feeling a second hand, third hand, whatever you want to call it, one. Okay, it's okay. It works. It just needs a little tune-ups and stuff like that. I don't know anything about that, so that's the extent of what I'm going to tell you on that. So it just needs some adjustments. And I have to say, this will be interesting. You'll have to see if this ends up being true or not. I have to say, it doesn't go very fast. So it's almost as though it can't go fast. So don't tell him that, okay? Because when you get it, or he gets it, we don't want him to recognize this, okay? Because it goes fast enough, but it's not going to go crazy. So he's not going to do anything stupid or take a corner too fast, that kind of thing. So don't tell him.
Okay.
So that one's okay. And it seems to me that that's going to hang out a little bit of time, that he's not going to buy it. And then, 5 months later, he's going to have to get rid of it. It feels like it's going to be there for a bit of time. So it's a solid one. Okay. It's okay. I don't feel any accidents on it. I'm not feeling anything like that either. So it feels fine to me. I have to say, it feels like things are just going to keep going at a fairly stable pace. I guess I want to use that word, stable pace, for some time. I feel like the next year actually feels good to me. Like this year, 2019, feels very good to me for you. Keep doing what you're doing with saving the money. And I know you're saving the change as well. You put it in a container, yes?
How did you know? Wait a minute. What? Wait. Yes. But there will be no, wait a minute. Seriously?
Yes.
Because I absolutely am. And let me tell you how on point you are with this. It's so crazy because a couple of months ago, my brother-in-law told me about this dime challenge where you take a 20-ounce water bottle or a soda bottle after you've emptied it and cleaned it or whatever and let it dry as best you can. You fill it with just a dime. Anytime you have dimes, when you make change, you just put your dimes in there. And over time, when the bottle gets full or after a year's time, whichever, then you cash it in and then you have a couple of $100 with effortless, almost without any effort. So I found a water bottle and with a cheer wine bottle actually. And I didn't tell my husband. I didn't tell my husband, my son. I'm the only one who knows that I'm saving those dimes in that plastic container. And you just said it. That's crazy.
Yes, keep doing it because it does add up. So, Elisa, I'm running out of time. So I just wanted to tell you, you keep doing what you're doing because you're doing it right. So don't you be worrying about anything. It feels good to me. You just keep handling it. So I'm going to have to let you go. But Elisa, it was so nice talking to you. You have a great night.
Thank you and so much. Thank you so much. You've been amazing. I'd recommend you to anybody. And what's your name again? Because I want to try to go back and listen.
Yep, Colleen Vanderzyden, and you can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Visit me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, and you can follow me on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, Medium and Self-Empowerment Coach, and I will talk to you next week. Goodbye.